This might be the most excited I've ever been to talk about a fragrance. This thing is pure magic, and for I think it was like $42, $43, this is probably the best blind buy purchase I've ever had. Maybe one of the top 5 fragrances that is in my collection based on the scent profile. And I'm not a Middle Eastern fragrance kind of guy, but if you're interested to hear about this review, stay tuned. Welcome back to 301 Scents. I am so excited to talk about this fragrance today because I was stunned by it. What is it? Ramad Oriental by Amouage Prestige. So just from the presentation, it's a nice box. You know, it opens up. You have this beautiful little display right here. Nice little design in the background. The bottle, gorgeous design as well. As you can see, it has some gold inlays. You have the sticker and everything on the bottom. And cap's really nice with this little gold reflective thing going on. So this is supposed to be a clone of Amouage's Outlands. So I am just going to go in and say it. I have never been the biggest Middle Eastern fragrance kind of guy because, you know, my wife's not heavy into incense and smoke and spices. This thing, though, is absolutely stunning. Let's start with the atomizer. I mean, you get a generous mist. I mean, Amouage Prestige has some of the best atomizers that's out there, but this thing packs a serious punch. So you have to like Middle Eastern fragrances. It is intensely spicy within that first minute or two, and then the spices kind of fade a little bit. But this fragrance right here, you get warm spicy. It becomes soft spicy. It's ambery. It's smoky. You have a lot of incense in this fragrance. You of course have that Oriental, you know, feel to it, of course, because it's a, you know, Middle Eastern fragrance, but you get everything in a fragrance here. Like, I wore this for the first time on Monday, but when I got it in on Saturday, I sprayed it. It was filling up the whole entire room. And my wife walked right into it, and it was a little overpowering for her. And when I first sprayed it, I was wearing something else the whole day. All I could think about was this fragrance and why I didn't spray it on and test it out, because I came home, instantly sprayed it on my wrist because I just wanted to keep sniffing it and sniffing it. So within the first hour, I wore this on Monday, and the spiciness dries down. You know, you still have those spices, but within 5 to 10 minutes, it starts to calm down a little bit. And then you get some florals. You get, I get a citrus. I don't know what citrus it is yet. It says it's lemon, but I wouldn't say it's over the top citrusy, but you have a little bit. It's spicy from some pepper. You have some green from some cardamom. The color is fitting to what this is trying to represent. This smells gorgeous. And then about an hour or two in, it really started to change. You know, the spiciness took kind of a backdrop. And then you got some white florals, and I got like this jammy rose. There's no rose note listed, but I got this jammy benzoin feel. I believe there is benzoin in this, but there was some sweetness the whole time. It was just lingering in the background, which is what makes this fragrance so stunning, because Amouage makes, you know, some serious Middle Eastern fragrances, and you either like that or you don't. This, I feel like they toned back on the spiciness a little bit. It's moderate here, and it's perfect to dip your toe in. If you're kind of wondering if a Middle Eastern fragrance is for you, this is by far one of the best blind buys I've had, because it starts off that spicy, goes into this floral heart. You got some magnolia, you have some jasmine. Like I said, I think there's a little jammy rose in this, but it could be some of the other notes. You get a leathery feel, not a whole bunch, but a tiny bit of leather from the saffron that's in this. And then the star of the show here is 3 or 4 hours in. It gets sweeter, it gets softer. Like, this isn't like a punch you in the face kind of fragrance. At first when you spray it, yes, the spices are intense. But then as it settles down, the sweetness gets ramped up. You get this airy vanilla, this sweet vanilla that does not remind you of all the designer fragrances that's coming out with vanilla. Like, this was cozy, this was sexy. Like, I had this on for 7 hours, and one of my coworkers came up to me and says, "Whatever you're wearing smells really nice." I had 5 compliments on this fragrance in the first day. But I was the most enamored with this because for $40, like the fragrance journey that you go on with this fragrance is amazing, because, you know, you get a designer fragrance and they're all kind of similar anymore. You know, for 70, 80 bucks for a designer, you get some sort of sweetness that's a little over the top. You get a little bit of spice. You get a tonka bean aromatic feel. Like they're all basically the same anymore, and you're paying a lot more. This right here is absolutely special. I mean, this is one of the best fragrances I've smelled this year. And that's no lie. I bought it based on the reviews that I've been seeing on some of these websites, Fragrantica, Parfumo. It's high. And we all know on Fragrantica, everyone just goes on there and trashes fragrances. Parfumo, you have a more realistic feel, but every review's in German. And I went to Joma Shop and they had a really high review rating for this. And I waited and waited and waited because I only saw 1 or 2 fragrance reviewers talk about this. And I didn't want to fall into that hype category, but man, talk about a clone that deserves it. It's this right here. But big warning, you have to like spice. You have to like incense. There's a lot of frankincense in this fragrance. If you do not like that stuff, you're not going to like this. But the sweetness in here is fantastic with what's going on. Like I said, it is not a linear fragrance. It transitions and has so many stages. Just starts out spicy, you know, a little intense spicy, and then it kind of softens up. You still get that spicy, you get some citrus, you get some florals, you get some aromatics, you get some creaminess, you get some sweetness. Like, this thing is just magical. Like, I just don't understand how some of these fragrance houses can't do what these Middle Eastern brands are doing. Like, I'm about to stop buying niche fragrances if I can get something like this for $44, $43, whatever I paid for it. And I was nervous because I don't have a lot of Middle Eastern things sitting on my shelf because my wife's not a big fan of it. And, you know, I have a place for some fragrances in my wardrobe that my wife don't like. I wear to work, like Terre d'Hermes, you know, the original. She thinks it's a little too grown up. Okay, I get that. But this one, at first she didn't like it. And then when she got past me after wearing this for a while, she started to like it. And man, this is a stunner. This is better than any designer fragrance out there, to me, that you can get for under $100, hell, under $50. You ain't getting a designer this complex. And I don't even know, like, I'm about to start exploring this whole brand. If a Rabiat Prestige makes fragrances like this, I need to check out more of them. And so do you, because you deserve to have a very good fragrance for the price that's not linear. And let's be honest, a lot of these designers are linear anymore. And sometimes the niche prices are so out of control that you're disappointed when you get it in. You're disappointed by that sample, you know? And this, stunner. Absolute stunner. Masterpiece fragrance. Oriental, smoky, sweet, incensey, everything. This is one of the best blind buys that you can have right now. The only thing is that spice. If you don't like spiciness in a fragrance, you don't like incense in a fragrance, frankincense is kind of a star of the show here. The vanilla, the benzoin, a Papanax, I want to say, is in there. You have this real ambery feel in the dry down. My God, is this good? This is fucking good. Like, pardon my language, but absolute stunner. And that's Ramad Oriental by Rabiat Prestige. I hope this content helped you if you were kind of on the edge or leaning towards buying this. If you don't like Middle Eastern fragrances, don't get it. If you're ready for a fragrance journey and you're a pure fragrance enthusiast, you don't want to spend that money on Amouage Outlands, get Ramad Oriental. You will not be disappointed. You got to like that profile. But man, fantastic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.